Okay.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it. And I agree with you on NATO. I agree with you on other countries. I don't want to single out Japan. I don't want to single out Saudi Arabia, but these are countries that people understand the kind of wealth we're talking about, and I will single them out. But there are many other countries and taking tremendous advantage of this, including NATO. If you look at the payments that we're making to NATO, they're totally disproportionate with everybody else's, and it's ridiculous. As far as other causes that are near and dear, this is the cause, because if we can solve this, then we're able to take care of something that I consider to be ultimately of ultimate importance, and that is the homeless situation, that is the farmers, that is the sick. We don't have any money. This country is busted. And it's busted because we're doing things that we shouldn't be doing. If we had business ability in this country, we'd be making lots of profit, so-called surplus profit. And that profit, that money, could be going to defend and I literally mean defend our homeless and our poor and our sick and our farmers. And that's where we ought to be spending the money, not giving it to countries that don't give a damn for us to start off with.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to our weekly unnamed podcast about politics. Redacted. That's what. Yeah. Ryan wants to call it redacted. So
I like that. We can't call it that though, because then no one will know what the fuck that means. I do like it in principle though.
Yeah. It's definitely got some good meaning behind it. But yeah, we're live coming off of a late Tuesday night's main event last night that went really, really well. So if you're just joining us, this is the very first official episode of our weekly podcast on politics. It will rotate between this channel and Ryan's Patriot Outpost channel. If you have not subscribed to that channel, please make sure you do that, because that's where we're going to be live next week, same time. And if the show goes well, then it will probably evolve into a daily Monday through Friday show. We'll have to see. So you guys let us know what you think about all of it. But Ryan, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing good. I'm tired as hell. This trip has been doing a number on me, because I'm still trying to make the same type of content while also doing all the things that you do around the holidays, which has been rough. But I'm ready to rock and roll. We had a good Tuesday night's main event. It doesn't seem like it ended that long ago, and here we are already live at noon. But yeah, I'm excited for this, and it's going to be every Wednesday, at least for now. So.
Yeah, and I am, for the first time, I'm live on Rumble right now. Let me drop the link to that, because it may be a little difficult for some to find. The ones that are subscribed to D-Day Cobra over on Rumble, let me know if you see it, but I had to create a whole new channel. So here's the actual link to it. Explain to them what I had to create, Ryan.
Yeah, so you can post things as a user over there on Rumble, or you can actually create a channel. And when you create a channel on Rumble, it's a little bit separate than your user, but that's how you can mirror all your stuff from YouTube, things like that. So Jeremy created an actual channel over there, and that's where he's streaming from. So and that's where all his videos will mirror to from now on. So.
Yep, absolutely. And obviously Ryan's over there as well, so the same will apply for RK Outpost. He'll be multi-streaming over there, as he always does. But we may have a guest today. I don't know. I teased it last night on main event, so we'll see what happens with that. But we're only going to go about an hour. So we're only going to go an hour, just do a recap of some of the things that's happened. If we get a chance, we will take a few of your questions from the chat. We do appreciate you guys being here. But the first thing to talk about is the obvious thing to talk about, the thing that broke the internet, the thing that everyone has been talking about. Donald Trump has been reinstated to Twitter after Elon Musk put up a poll, and 15 million people voted in this poll. Ultimately, Trump winning 52-48. And I do believe we've talked about this quite a bit since it happened. We went live when it happened. I think that Elon Musk always had the intention of bringing Trump back, but he decided to put some marketing behind it, and it clearly worked very good. It worked out really good for him. But the reaction has been all over the place, mainly from a lot of the left, really upset. Ryan?
It's funny because he hasn't even tweeted, right? He has not even tweeted yet, and likely won't, at least not until they figure out some stuff with True Social or what's going on with that. But even if he does tweet it, it's probably not going to be primarily on Twitter. They might work out somewhere he can promote it, something like that. But the man has not even tweeted yet, and people are just freaking out and melting down. And it goes so far beyond just Trump coming back too. He's obviously the biggest one that's going to cause the most stuff out there. But everybody's coming back. People that have been banned for 3 or 4 years are coming back and being unbanned and are now on this platform. And it's funny, nearly all of them seem to have been banned for conservative thought, for conservative talking points, conservative beliefs. There's nobody that even was banned for being a leftist. There's nobody on the left that was banned for spreading misinformation or anything like that. It's all conservative voices coming back because those are the only ones that were banned. And having him do it that way, I think was completely engineered to drive traffic to Twitter. I think he was going to do it regardless. But the fact that he put up a poll like that we saw the old 2020 election 3 a.m. votes start to come in as leftists flooded back to the platform, as bots came into the platform to try to vote on this poll, it was just spectacular.
Yeah, absolutely. You see this the screenshot that the quartering posted from Dinesh. Basically, we don't hear much about Democrats and leftists being back on Twitter. Why? Because they were never kicked off in the first place. Their lies and misinformation simply escaped all scrutiny. Censorship has been deployed as a one-way operation against conservatives at Elon Musk. Elon Musk responds and says, correct. Pretty big from the guy who's actually seeing everything from behind the scenes to confirm that. And what's good is that everything that we have said, we were right about. Like, Twitter was a left-wing echo chamber. Twitter was ran by a bunch of lazy people that don't care about anything going on. And then we had this from Elon, where he found this in a closet at Twitter.
It's so funny because they even found where that was originally from. It was from Jack Dorsey, wore it in 2016. And it was like in the middle of the whole like Ferguson stuff. And then Elon even tweeted later on that night, he's like, oh, we found out where it was from. By the way, that was an entire farce. Hands up, don't shoot was a fucking lie. And even Obama's Department of Justice proved it.
Yeah.
Like, he's going hard, man.
He really is. Hard. He's going really hard, and he is not backing down at all. He did delete that tweet about the Obama stuff and hands up, don't shoot. He did delete that, but he's going hard, and I'm very happy that he's doing it, because this thing has been a disaster for a long time. Twitter has become a left-wing operation. That's what it was, and now we're starting to see the reality of it. Kind of show all the facts are kind of presenting themselves to the point where now it's you can't even dispute everything we've been saying, and it's the same thing that applies to things like Disney and what they're doing with Marvel and what they're doing with Lucasfilm. It's a left-wing propaganda echo chamber. That's what it is, and Elon I think it's only going to get worse and worse in terms of the exposure. There is a group of people. It's a group of brothers. Their last name started with K. Cranston. They were reply guys to Trump, and they got banned. You remember them? Are they back? That's the only leftist I can remember that got banned. Cranston or something like that. They were swear, dude. They were super. They were super gamer word looking.
It's funny to see like a lot of the people that have made their living being left-wing, like activists on Twitter. People like Brooklyn Dad, right? Some of the tweets he's been having, like, we're not going away from this platform. Tell Elon there's leftists here, right? Because his entire income is based on him being able to gain or to get clout on Twitter. Like, that's what he does. He got invited to the White House, right, for just pushing Democrat talking points, literally given to him by the Democratic Party. And it's going to be interesting how that plays going forward on Twitter. Now, of course, there is the elephant in the room, which is Alex Jones. Alex Jones, Elon Musk flat out said, I'm not bringing Alex Jones back to the platform. The reasoning he gave seemed to be because of the way that he lost a child. I'll be real. I think it's wishy-washy. I think it's kind of bullshit.
100% is bullshit.
There's a lot of left-wingers on the platform that will use the deaths of children immediately for gain all the time. Are you going to ban all those people? It just seems like a weird thing for me, that reasoning. I think it might just be a little too hot right now, maybe. I don't know. With all the stuff he's already doing, I don't know what the what the
that is hard.
potential could be.
It's hard to tell. It's hard to say that it's too hot for him, considering he's intentionally making things hot for himself. You know what I mean? So it's like,
But you do see him like delete that tweet he had the other day,
right,
or
right,
you know what I mean? Like
right.
even when he does say some stuff that does push the edge, he'll often delete it, knowing that it's out there, but it's not up. So I don't know.
Yeah,
I
I mean,
think there's a little bit of dancing still.
Well, there's more to Musk not bringing Alex Jones back than that. That's an interesting aspect of it because, again, I personally don't like it. I don't like it at all that's the one guy, and his reactions to it has been the problem too. Like, it's one thing to not bring him back in the midst of all these other people being brought back. It's one thing to not bring him back. It's another thing to continue to comment on why you're not bringing him back, or being very dismissive of people that are asking genuinely, like Viva asked genuinely, and he just said, too bad. That's what the real bad part of this is, in my opinion, is the dismissive nature in how he's acting towards that. Because ultimately, I've heard people make the argument, well, if he brought Alex Jones back, he wouldn't stay in the App Store. Getter's in the App Store, True Social's in the App Store, Rumble's in the App Store. Alex Jones is platformed on many other platforms, just none of the major ones, and that hasn't hurt their standing in the App Store. So I think that's a bullshit excuse as well. So I don't think he's going to bring Alex Jones back at all. I don't think it's ever going to happen. And I guess the bigger question here is, do you think, Ryan, by the end, let's just make it realistic, okay? For short-term real, by the end of this year, do you think Trump tweets by the end of this year?
By the end of this year, if I were a betting man, I would say no. Like, if he hasn't yet, I don't know if he will. I imagine, I don't know what his deal with True Social is. Like, that's the thing. Like, he has a deal. I don't know exactly the details of everything, but he has a deal with True Social. And I believe it's exclusivity as well. So I think you would have to work out. If I'm True Social, I would love it if Trump fucking tweeted like, hey, come to True Social.
Yeah.
Would it bring that many people over? I don't know. I think a lot of people are really loving Twitter right now. The fact that it just seems more alive and you can post things that you weren't able to post before and things like that. I don't know what that means for Truth Social going forward.
Yeah, I mean, I see Yellow Flash says True Social sucks. He also said, why not put Ryan in a Motel 6? But True Social, I don't like True Social. I don't like it. It's not the worst platform, but honestly, Getter is far better than True Social from a UI standpoint. And I don't use Getter either, but Getter is just better.
I don't mind Truth or Getter, like, but they're, from a UI standpoint, they're basically the same. It's just there's not as to me, it's echo chambery, so it's not as interesting to be on. Like there is something to the fact that Twitter is full of people that are constantly in your timelines that you vehemently disagree with.
Right.
That's a good thing. That's an engaging thing. It's what makes people fight. It's what makes people have arguments and discussions. It's what makes people like pay attention to shit. Whereas I kind of know what I'm going to see on Truth Social. I could get some conservative news. I could get some things like that, but I'm not really going to get any type of people fighting with people or people arguing, people owning people. That shit doesn't happen on those platforms.
Right. And that's what the best part of it is. And the other part of True Social that I really hate is that it's called truths when you send a tweet.
I'm sending out
that
truth.
becomes, and then that means that you're sending out your truth. Oh God, it's so cringe. It's so cringe.
We need Obama to join Truth Social. It could be an Obama truther.
I mean, it's such a bad name. It's a bad name. Did you hear when Trump was responding to Elon and he almost called it Trump Social? Did you catch that?
I did. Yeah. A little slip. Might as well be at this point.
I mean, Elon said it should be called Trumpet. Like, and I 100% think that's what it should be called. Just call it Trumpet at this point. But yeah, True Social is a terrible name. I think it's terrible. The big scheme of things here, what I think should have happened is, because I think that there's way too many. There's too many out there. There's too many of these alternatives to Parlors, to Getters, to True Socials, all that. Trump should have just worked out a deal with Getter, man. Getter already had a nice little user base, a great UI. There was some momentum around it, but it didn't have that needle turner. If Trump would have joined Getter instead of creating his whole new thing called True Social, which is terribly named, I think that would have been a far better play in the interim. And now, obviously, with Twitter being back, I don't think he's going to tweet by the end of the year. I don't, but I do believe he will be tweeting before the 2024 campaign gets rolling. I 100% have to believe that. What is his agreement? I don't know. And I don't think any of us really know the ins and outs of that agreement, but I think he's absolutely going to tweet at some point before the election or when that really starts rolling. He can't not, you know what I mean? He can't. So that's going to be my take on it right there. In terms of Elon Musk moving forward, do you think, Ryan, that he's going to run into any trouble with the app stores with what he's doing on Twitter? Do you think that's a realistic issue that he's going to have to face if he continues to platform people that have clearly been deplatformed by the big tech overlords?
I think maybe, but I also don't think that Elon, I think Elon's a really fucking smart guy. Spoiler alert. I think Elon Musk is smart. I think Elon Musk knows what he's doing. I think he knows how far he can push the envelope. And I think he also knows all the people that are running these places anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I think he's on very good terms with everyone. So I do not think that Twitter is in danger of getting removed from the App Store. I think a lot of that is there's been so much misinformation, ironically, from the mainstream media within the past couple of weeks about Elon and about Twitter. Oh, it's about to go down. It can't last over the weekend. Seems to be perfectly fucking fine to everybody. Oh, Sam Bankman-Fried has a bunch of money invested in Twitter. Elon immediately called out Business Insider, said, no, that's a lie. You guys are just a fucking trash company or a trash news company. So I think there's a lot of stuff like that out there. Oh, Elon's in trouble of, oh, look at what Apple deactivated their thing. They're going to remove her from the App Store. I don't know. I just don't see it happening. If, like you said, if so many of these other people can be platformed on these other spaces and still be on the App Store, they should be good. It's not really about individuals being platformed. It's about your rules. And because there are still hate speech limitations and things like that on Twitter, there's still a terms of service that aligns with the App Store guidelines. I don't think it's in any danger of being removed.
Yeah, I agree with that. I definitely agree with that. And I think the most important thing you said there was that Elon knows all these guys. He has a relationship with all these guys, every single one of them. So that's just he is, regardless of what you think about him, the one thing that cannot be denied is that he is a brilliant person. He is really, really smart, and he's really savvy, and he knows what he's doing. So I don't think that that's anything that we truly need to worry about. He's not going to put himself in a position where that has a massive impact. Now, one thing that I wanted to give an update on, because we haven't had an update since we heard about this, Ryan. And I guess we got to speculate as to what exactly happened. What happened? Kanye has not given us an update since this tweet right here. We have not gotten an update. The last thing Kanye tweeted, first time at Mar-a-Lago, rain and traffic. Can't believe I kept President Trump waiting. And I had jeans on. Yikes. What do you guys think his response is when I asked him to be my running mate in 2024? So here's the question. Do we even know if he really is at Mar-a-Lago? It is Kanye. You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, I believe he's there. Like, I believe he's there, but I also think he asked him, and I think Trump was probably just like, oh, you know, God, yeah, I love you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're a great guy. Yeah, you're a great guy, Kanye. You're brilliant. You're great. You're the best. You're the smartest guy I know. We'll talk about that later. You probably had to.
That's what I think. Yeah.
But no update from Kanye. Are you considering voting for Kanye in 2024, Ryan?
No, I am not. I'm gonna vote for likely whoever the Republican candidate is, and I assume that'll be Donald J. Trump.
It 100% will be Donald J. Trump. I mean, just like look at the reaction to this Twitter thing with Trump. That's always been my point about the whole DeSantis Trump thing, where it doesn't matter if DeSantis is a better politician or could be better for that position. Nobody touches the needle that Trump moves. It's so beyond anything we've ever seen.
I agree, but he touches it in a negative and a positive way.
He does.
There are definitively more people that will go out and hate vote against Donald Trump than would against Ron DeSantis, 1,000%.
Yes.
And the fact that with the transformation of the way that our elections have been done in this country over the past 5 years with mail-in ballots, like they're making it so easy to vote for a lot of these lazy young people who never would have to begin with. They might say something, they might like a tweet, they might tweet something out, but they actually won't go wait in line and vote. Well, the easier you are now making it for these people, the easier it is for them to hate vote like that. And so that's the thing that does come with the Donald Trump. We're seeing these freakouts, we're seeing these meltdowns because people so passionately despise this guy. So
yeah, absolutely. I do have to highlight Dan Vask to my two black friends. Thank you, Dan. Appreciate that. Ryan like your number one black friend though? I'm curious about that, Dan. And by the way, thank you for sending the $1.75, Dan. I greatly appreciate it. Everyone say hello to Dan Bass.
That's actually $50 though.
So no, it's not. I know he tries to change it up so it looks real. No, I'm never going to acknowledge him for other than $1.75 because he doesn't have. I know when he doesn't have the Brazilian buy it. So he actually does send them. Since I've been roasting him, I've guilted him into sending me real money.
That's real money right there.
I know. Look at it. He just said it. It's real dollars.
That's right.
Literally just got off the phone with Dan. Dan, we have to get you on here. You can talk about your country's situation a little bit, I'm sure. Let's see. Captain Hyrule. Hey, Jeremy. What is your earliest gaming memory? Mine is when I was like 3 or 4 years old watching my brother play Duck Hunt on the NES. He hands me the Nintendo Zapper and points at the screen and says, "Go ahead, shoot them." Probably 1985, 86 with the NES when my parents got me the Nintendo Entertainment System and playing Super Mario Brothers. That's probably my earliest memory. If I'm thinking off the top of my head, because I don't think I played Atari before then. Played Atari afterwards, if I'm not mistaken. Thank you, Captain Hyrule. I appreciate it.
And I just really wanted to address something as well that someone said in the chat, that Ron DeSantis is a co-owner of a diamond mine along with Anthony Fauci. That's a fake story.
Yes.
You can't believe everything you fucking see. That's a fake story, guys. So there's
a
lot of people out there that want to trick some people. Don't fall for it.
Right now, did you see the video I did on Frank Luntz and his focus group bullshit? Did you see that?
I wasn't able to watch the video. No.
So Frank Luntz the other day, and I let me pull up the Columbia Bugle because they're the ones that initially they retweeted it and I saw it. And so Frank Luntz actually linked back to his YouTube account, which has a whopping 5,000 subscribers. Shout out to Frank Luntz. But they did this focus group, and I am convinced that this is not a real group of MAGA voters. So they claim that these are MAGA voters that are now turning on Donald Trump. One of the guys had a Space Mountain green screen behind him from Disney World, but this guy was supposedly here. All right, here's the video right here. So they did this focus group, and it 100% just feels like they're trying to create that divide. And the reason I'm talking about that is because I'm seeing a lot of this divide with people that the pro-Trump crowd are saying all this bad stuff about DeSantis. You know what I mean? And then the pro-DeSantis crowd are saying all this stuff about Trump. You're buying into this because the media is trying to get you to buy into it. So right here, let's see.
Republican Party's nomination in 2024. That is, of course, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. So, Frank, tell us about the focus group. What were you looking for? What did you hear?
Well, first, we wanted to to gather Trump voters. And many of these people had voted for Trump twice. Everyone had voted for him, at least in 2016 or 2020. And we wanted to know where they stood now that he's announced, now that it looks like the governor of Florida, Ron DeSantis, will be his opponent. We wanted to know how they felt about the man who they used to idolize. And you know what? They still do, but not the same as they used to. It's changed.
Yeah, well, you asked a group of the Republican voters to briefly describe Donald Trump and Ron DeSantis. Let's take a look to see what they had to say.
First, one word or phrase that you would use.
I'm supposed to believe this guy right here with Space Mountain behind him on a green screen is a hardcore MAGA voter, okay? Who's from California. Get the fuck out of here. Here we go.
To describe Donald Trump right now.
Stay off Twitter.
Jamie from Iowa.
I was just going to say the same thing. His new one that he's on, I think he needs to take a break from that one.
Becky.
A narcissist.
Lisa.
Keep doing what you're doing.
So you voted for Trump twice, but now you've decided he's a narcissist. So the other 35 fucking years that he's been in the public eye and been just that type of guy, that wasn't a problem. Now we're at a point where you think he's a narcissist. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, Frank Luntz is like such a bitch, man.
He's pathetic.
It's crazy that he was the guy on Fox News 15 years ago. You know what I mean? Like the fucking guy. And now he just works for MSNBC. A lot of these people like shift around. It's so like, it just shows you how fake the mainstream media really is. The clip we saw of Allison Camerado the other day, like talking about the non-binary Colorado shooter, right? She was on Fox News for forever. You know what I mean? You go to a different network, all of a sudden it's a little bit different, the things you're saying. So it's all artificial. And the media, both sides, people on both sides of the media want people to fight over DeSantis and Trump.
Yes.
That's the reality right now. And it's clear that a lot of people are buying into that on both sides. So
yes, and they kind of go through this focus group, and everybody's like, then they talked about Trump, DeSantis, but then it gets to this point right here, and just listen.
There, when DeSantis was being asked about it, was all positive. Some words like promising, interesting, visionary, the future. Trump, there were some positives: fighter, unrelenting, still right, but also things like unsettling.
Okay, hang on. I got to prep everybody for this part. So there's one guy that called Trump a racist, okay, in the focus group, who apparently was a Trump voter twice, but now Trump's a racist. Okay, that makes sense. But anyway, listen to how this guy says the word racist. Okay, he says it almost like Vince fucking McMahon said rapist. Listen.
Some positives: fighter, unrelenting, still right, but also things like unsettling, narcissist, stay off of Twitter, divisive, racist. What does that tell you?
Racist. Like he's racist. Now, listen to how much they care about Republican voters' opinions when they can shift it to a pro-DeSantis, anti-Trump message. Suddenly they care about Republican voters. Isn't that interesting? How suddenly they care about Republican voters because they're trying to create this divide. It's so disgusting to watch them continue to try to twist this up.
Yeah, this is the target. They know that a Republican Party that is divided like that is fractured, is not going to be able to do anything, especially with all the difficulties of already winning an election with the way the Democrats have structured things. So yeah, that is what the media wants. They want people to get invested in this fight. They want people spreading fake news about Ron DeSantis. They want people saying that, oh, look at what's all this stuff that's happening, trying to take down Trump. Look at what Trump's doing to it. Like, they want people invested in all these things. There is a reality out there. The reality is, whoever you prefer, Donald Trump is running, and Donald Trump will run. He will run for president of the United States, even at the off chance that somehow there was a lot of people that were working against him, that he didn't win the primary. He's still going to fucking run for president of the United States. That is the reality. And quicker the people accept that, it's likely better.
Yeah. And it's only going to get worse. So what I would urge people to do is, obviously you're welcome to do whatever you want, but don't get caught up in this. Trump and DeSantis are going to work whatever it is out when the time is right. These are both grown ass men. They'll handle business. Trump is Trump. He talks shit. He runs his mouth. It's what he does. DeSantis knows that. I think that DeSantis will, like I said, he will eventually become one of the great politicians of our lifetime. But it's not his time at this moment. It's Trump's time, and Trump will run. Trump will win the nomination. And I believe Trump will ultimately win the presidency back. I do firmly believe that that's going to happen, but it ain't going to be easy. And it's going to be really, really tough to get there. So let me, Ryan, I'm going to read a couple super chats, and then I want to get that Fauci clip pulled up. So do you have that Fauci clip?
Yeah, I do. I'll get it.
Okay. So, oh my God. Why does this fucking back end on YouTube keep messing up? I don't understand it. I do want to welcome everybody in. This is our weekly political show. Next week, it will be airing on Patriot Outpost. So if you have not subscribed to Patriot Outpost, please make sure you go and do that, because I'm sure we'll have a lot to talk about next week as well.
That's right. I'm gonna drop a video a little after the stream about the mainstream media having a meltdown because the Colorado shooter is non-binary, and how they're trying to say, well, he's just doing that. He doesn't actually think that. He doesn't actually believe that's his gender, because it's almost like when you've been pushing this shit for that long, you're the ones that have created the situation where now you have to respect someone's pronouns. You have to pretend like these fucking freaks, like you have to actually coddle them. So it was really funny last night watching all that play out.
You gotta love it. You gotta love it. Zenny Biscuit, $5. Sports and politics. Horse race. Let's see. HISA, Horse Racing Integrity and Safety Act, was ruled unconstitutional. Still in effect except for West Virginia and LA. Zenny Biscuit on top of all of the horse racing knowledge. Thank you, Zenny Biscuit. Bruce Flash, awesome stream last night, but seriously, who farted? I mean, it was Epic Mike.
I kind of think it was, but like, it certainly wasn't me. So it has to be Mike.
Oh man, Biggles Mets. Ryan is the talent of the show. Hashtag cancel Jeremy. I am still banned. Still banned from where? Twitter? Is that where? I don't know where you're still banned. You're not banned from our chat. Probably Twitter.
Maybe.
Dan's still banned too, which is fine with me. Dave Savage.
He's not important enough to bring back. They'll get to him later.
Yeah, I agree with that. Dave Savage too says Elon should sell those tops online for $8. He should sell them for a lot more. He should autograph them and sell them for a lot more. I think that would be good.
Did you see the former Twitter employee who was like, we worked really hard on those. Send them to me. I don't want them to end up in a trash can.
No, I didn't see that. I didn't see that one.
And it's like, you worked really hard on that. Like, it's just a hashtag stay woke shirt in like very generic font. If that's what you worked hard on, it's no wonder Twitter was a gigantic pile of shit. A bunch of useless women. That's what they're working hard on, is making merchandise that is the most simple, basic thing you could possibly imagine.
Brian, did you remove the fake window? There's light now.
Wait, it comes through. I have the actual curtains pulled.
I love how this is all this lore that gets created from our streams. Ezra Miller's cellmate, Elon would never bring Nick Fuentes back. Has that been a thing? Has that been discussed? I'm sure there's a lot of fans that are trying to get that account back. So do you think you think Fuentes is going to come back, Ryan?
I don't know, man. Like, Fuentes is one of the more banned people in the world, to be honest with you. But I mean, he's on Rumble. Like, they've got America First, Nick Fuentes on Rumble. Like, they've got that stuff. So, I mean, I don't see any reason why not. But like you said, is he one of those like Alex Jones types where it's just too much for him to touch right now? I mean, yeah. Kanye West kind of gave Nick Fuentes a shout out the other day. So
did he?
In a way, yeah. He was talking about like what clearly was like he didn't say Nick Fuentes, but he was talking about his situation. So I don't know. We'll see. My bet would be no.
Yeah.
If for Fuentes coming back to Twitter.
Trucker Mark says, how did you like the nationwide poll on Thursday that Elon did? Over 15 million votes and got counted in one day. Everyone voted for Trump. Well, everyone didn't vote for Trump. There was a lot of people that did not vote for him, but obviously it wasn't scientific at all, and it was never going to be. But the whole thing was still really funny to watch it all play out. Jared the American missed a stream last night. Well, it is still on Geeks and Gamers. We had a fantastic stream. I think we peaked at like 4,500 people. It was really, really cool to get the main event back rolling, and we do appreciate all of you. All right, Ryan, you got it pulled up?
I do. Let me share it here.
I see Drunk 3PO in the chat. I see Yellow Flash. What's up, guys?
What's
all right,
up, guys?
Here we go. I'll let you
Yeah.
take it away, Ryan.
Yeah, this was pretty good. It's been a while since we heard anything from Dr. Fauci. Even though he did tell people you got to get your fourth vax for Thanksgiving dinner. A Thanksgiving dinner that's going to cost 20% more because of Joe Biden, the inflation the Democrats have caused. But there was an interesting exchange when Fauci was up there at the White House, answering questions, and a question got yelled at him about the origins of COVID. You'd think that 2 years removed from all this, that maybe he'd actually be able to say something, but no, that was too much. And the press secretary needed to intervene. And I do have the video right here. I think I shared audio. Listen to what happens, and then her reaction to somebody.
This is embarrassing.
Off the street. So that's the thing that troubles me most about this.
Dr. Fauci, only 13% of...
Hold on one second.
So if you missed it, the question was, hey, what do we know about the origins of COVID?
Mm-hmm.
And then Karine Jean-Pierre comes in and has to shut it down.
Cringe Jean-Pierre. That's what Benny calls her.
There you go. Cringe Jean-Pierre. That's pretty good. But shuts her down. But then she gets back up from somebody from Africa News Today. It's a really interesting exchange.
We have a process here. I'm not calling out on people who yell. And you're being disrespectful to your colleagues, and you're being disrespectful to our guests. I will not call on you if you yell. And also you're taking time off the clock because Dr. Fauci has to leave in a couple of minutes. I'm done. I'm not getting into a back and forth with you. Go ahead, Jeremy.
Dr. Fauci,
But she's
only
asking
30.
a great question.
Get out, Jeremy. Go ahead, Jeremy.
You ask your question, you should allow her to answer.
Jeremy.
She's
Jeremy.
asking a
It's Jeremy.
Dr. Fauci
It's
about
Jer-
the origin of COVID-19.
It is not your turn. It is not your turn.
Jesus. At least it's somebody named Jeremy causing problems too.
She's asking about the origin of COVID-19.
I hear the question.
Dr. Fauci is the best person
I
to answer
I
that
hear your question, but we're not doing this the way you want it. This is the disrespectful. It is. I'm done. Simon, I'm done. Simon, I'm done. I'm done with you right now. Go ahead. Go ahead.
And this is somebody from, I believe, Africa News Today or something, right? Who's what do you do? She's asking a very relevant question. Now, it was a reporter from the Daily Caller answering the question. One of the reasons I'm sure they didn't want him to answer, but it's just the fact that we are still this protective about protecting Dr. Fauci, and we can't answer this, can't answer that. It's complete bullshit. This dude, Dr. Fauci, is responsible for potentially more deaths over the past 2 years than we've seen from any dude in a very, very long time. He doesn't belong in prison. He belongs under the prison. And the fact that he's been protected by so many people for so long is disgusting.
Yeah, he's I can't quantify how much I hate this man. I really can't. There's always the thing where there's a lot of hyperbole and you're like, oh, I hate this person, whether it's an athlete or an actor or something. I despise Anthony Fauci on a level that's hard to really comprehend. And it's so disgusting that after everything that we've seen in the past few months, they bring this guy back out to start spewing his nonsense about boosters and masks and all this other bullshit all over again, telling people that you can't spend time with your family unless you do this, that, or the other. What do they think they're going to benefit from this? Are they trying to set up for another lockdown? Is that what they're trying to do? It's unbelievable to me.
I don't know if they can. I think this fourth booster or whatever we're on, I think only 10% of U.S. adults have gotten it. So I think that they've lost that battle. Now maybe if you actually do have a couple cities that do it. I have heard some cities are ramping up around the holidays as they get some spikes or whatever. But I think for the most part, Americans are so tired. They feel like they were tricked from this from the very beginning. A lot of people are sitting there because they got convinced by people on both sides to take a drug that now it looks like they didn't really have to, and it's having some effects that they weren't anticipating necessarily. So I think the COVID stuff is all bad. I don't think they're going to be able to trick people into locking down again.
No, I don't either. You would think, but it's kind of hard to imagine where we ended up last time. You know what I mean? Fear is a powerful tool, and they utilized it to their advantage. I do think they overshot to a point that can't really be redone again. But again, the question, you have to ask a question. Why did they do that? Why did they even bring him out yesterday? Why are they giving him a platform when it's clear that he has negative people have a negative view of this man now? I can't believe that they brought him out, but whatever, it is what it is. Okay, so Fauci's a piece of garbage. We know that. And this is a good one. So you have the illusions are broken. People see the political and media crap, and there is no going back. Yeah, I mean, I hope that's the case. I do hope that's the case. All I know is when I wasn't in my area, because it's pretty, I'd say it's pretty red in my area, but like when I would go to other places and just seeing people with like multiple masks on, and it's just like, how can you be so manipulated by this? It's truly astonishing how easily it was easy for them to manipulate so many people into this for so long. You know what I mean? So,
and it's tough because for a lot of people, okay, I guess I have to wear a mask at my job now. I need this job. I'm going to have to wear this mask or else I can't feed my family. You know, it was a really tough situation for a lot of people. But when you look at all the ramifications that have happened now, when you look at kids and how far behind kids are in school because of the COVID lockdowns, it's bad. We're talking like there are some studies that are out there that are estimating that for kids in certain, especially lower grade levels, that with the loss of time that a lot of people had, you're talking 10 to 20 IQ points difference potentially for children. And now again, they can make that up somehow, but it doesn't look good. And that's the one thing a lot of us were screaming about when you decide to shut down schools the way that they were, with teachers who are not trained to be able to do remote learning, with kids who aren't ready to do remote learning. It was a fucking disaster, and we're going to be feeling that for a long fucking time as soon as those people are eligible to vote. So
yeah.
Maybe the Democrats just wanted to create an entirely new section, a new voting block. So they wanted to make people really fucking retarded.
I didn't fucking mute myself, but I did go off camera while I sneezed. So, but I didn't do like, at least I wasn't Mike. At least I didn't fart and everybody heard it. So, Trump drained the water out of the swamp so all the monsters can be seen for what they are. I think he did a decent job. He didn't do a great, he did an okay job at draining, but I personally believe that, I think Trump is smarter than a lot of people want to give him credit for. I also don't think he's not 4D chess Trump, but I do think he's a lot smarter and manipulative than a lot of people give him credit for. And I mean manipulative in a good way. But at the end of the day, he was a president. He needed to have relationships on both sides of the aisle. I think he was going to go scorched earth in his second term, though. I do believe that. I believe he was going to go scorched earth.
Yeah, it's tough because it was never a reality that he could go in there and completely break the wheel, right?
I think he did a lot of that. His first 100 days, he did a lot, and then he dialed back once he really got rolling.
But what I mean is, look at some of the people that he's endorsed. Kevin McCarthy. Trump has endorsed Kevin McCarthy before. Now he is like the establishment Republican swamp villain to a lot of people. Look at Mike Pence, who is his running mate. What is Mike Pence to a lot of people now? Establishment Republican, fucking, the worst person ever. So, I don't know. I think the biggest thing that Trump did was he revealed a lot of things. That's what I think. And he made attempts for sure. I think he surrounded himself with some people that were part of this John Bolton, things like that were definitely establishment picks, but it was better than what we had before. Absolutely. And what he was able to do in 4 years is incredible economically, foreign policy wise. So.
Yep. So we got two more stories I want to hit. One is the Hunter Biden laptop we finally have CBS has verified it. Now, this was Trump with Leslie Stahl during an interview. I'm sure a lot of people remember this.
I think it's one of the biggest scandals I've ever seen, and you don't cover it. You want to talk about?
Well, because it can't be verified.
You want to talk about insignificant things?
I'm telling you.
Of course, it can be verified. Excuse me. They found the laptop, Leslie.
Can't be verified.
What can't be verified?
The laptop.
Why do you say that?
Because
even the family hasn't. The family on the laptop. He's gone into hiding for 5 days. He's gone into hiding.
He's preparing for your debate.
Oh, it's taken him 5 days to prepare. I doubt it. Okay.
All right. So let's get.
And she never retracted. She never apologized. She never, gave any other context to that whatsoever. The Hunter Biden laptop situation is one of the most obvious things we have seen over the past several years about the media corruption going on. You remember the New York Post had their Twitter account locked out because
what
of
if
that
the
story.
Oldest newspapers in the country?
Mm-hmm.
That's the New York Post.
Yep.
Like it's not like it's some random fringe website or newspaper or something.
Right.
The New York Post.
Yeah.
And what was crazy is beyond just that. Remember when Zuckerberg went on Rogan and was talking about that?
Yes.
How they were told, how the government came to them and told them that, this is going to be an op, that it's a Russian op, like all these things, be on the lookout for misinformation. So they coordinated with the government to censor this story.
Yep.
Oof, man.
It's so bad. It's so bad. And so now here we are with all of this. And I do think that's a good segue for our final topic, which is the Biden impeachment that the newly majority House Republicans have drawn up impeachment on Joe Biden. I love that we're hearing this because it sounds good. It feels good. It's nice that someone else is being impeached other than Trump. I have very little faith that anything comes of this. But my question for Ryan is, do you think that this Hunter Biden laptop will have any impact on this impeachment process? Do you have any faith in this impeachment process? Or do you think it's all window dressing like it usually is with the fucking Republicans, where it's just like, look what we're doing, guys. We're holding them accountable when nothing's really going to happen?
Well, we know that nothing's going to happen in the same way that the Trump impeachment, we knew that was going to happen. But you can.
The difference is the Biden crime family is legitimately a crime family. Donald Trump has been investigated more than any human on the planet, and they can't find anything substantial.
But what I'm saying is they don't have the numbers to actually impeach. You know what I mean? Like they don't. That's not a fucking thing that's going to be able to happen. Right. So you can do all this stuff you want. You can impeach him if you want, but it's going to have no effect on who's actually in power. What you're looking for are these rhetorical wins, are these things that put on display. Look at all these things that happen because you want to expose it to the voters. The real question is, will doing this, putting your priority on this, will that appeal to these independent voters? That's really the question. And I think it could have a big fucking impact on people if they see the things that were covered up, especially if they lean on how it was collusion from DOJ and all these things that kept this under wraps that could have severely affected the first election of Joe Biden, certainly if they hadn't been censored like that. But I also think at the same time that there's a lot of Americans who are actually worried about real shit and they want action. They want to see Republicans in control of Congress take actual action on things and make Joe Biden be the guy who fucking vetoes all that stuff. I think Americans would really like to see that from Republicans with this very, very slim majority. Actually put in actionable plans to do things like fix inflation, to do things like fix the fucking border crisis, which is horrendous right now. You can focus on more than one thing at a time, certainly. But I think there needs to be a balance for Republicans now that they have this to not just be, hey, we're going to impeach this guy. I think you actually have to have things to show what you're going to do to make this country better as well. And I think sometimes that gets overlooked by us You know what I mean? Who are like, that's so fucking obvious to us how this country can be better.
Well, I think one of the big problems with that is, and how you said that, you're reminding me of this tweet, because Posobiec shared this tweet, and I agree with this 100%. Dems have the worst leader imaginable, yet the party rallies behind him and pumps him up. Republicans have the most beloved president of the modern era, but the party trashes him, sabotages him, and condemns smear campaigns against him, or conducts smear campaigns against him. That's why they win and we don't. And I agree with that. I agree with that 100%. The biggest problem, in my opinion, is the Republican Party. The Republican Party is the biggest problem. Regardless of how you feel about Donald Trump, his popularity is second to none. Yes, his hatred is second to none as well, but his popularity is second to none. The support he has, the base he has, you cannot compete with it. But the Republicans, instead of trying to convince the people in the middle that he's not this horrible person that the left always says he is, the Republicans often work against any messaging that could help him, and they help kind of push that left-wing message by default, not intentionally, but by default. And I think that there's a lot of those rhinos that are at the top of the Republican Party that keep pushing that narrative that I think will hurt, that will hurt anything that the Republicans are trying to do moving into 2024.
Yeah.
So,
like, as much as I want to see all of this Hunter Biden stuff laid out, I want to see Joe Biden exposed as the big guy. I want all that shit. The question is, will it matter? These are people that just elected Fetterman.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, like, because of what you said, Jeremy, about how everybody gets behind that same type of messaging, will it fucking matter if it's actually blasted out there? Things that are already known, like, this is out there. People do know about this. So what effect will it have? That's the real question.
Well, that's the truth is because I said the thing that the Democrats and the left are unified in their hatred of Trump. That's the thing that unifies them. It's not that they get along with each other. It's not that they believe in each other. It's that they all hate Trump equally. That's their unifying thing. And the right is not as unified on that front. And they should be. They absolutely should be. But you're never going to, like, it's 2016 all over again, dude. Paul Ryan is talking about how Trump can't win again. You know what I mean? We're going through the same process over and over again from 2016. It's crazy to me. So it'll be interesting to see how this all plays out over the next couple of years for sure. It's going to be entertaining. It's going to be there's definitely going to be a lot of one-liners and a lot of press conferences for us to react to. What I can't wait for is the primaries and the debates. So I just can't even imagine how that's going to, like, who do you right now, Ryan, if you were to pick, give me a couple of names that you think are definitely going to be running for president from the Republican side. Do you think Pence is in it?
Pompeo and Pence, 1000% Pompeo and Pence will run. Those are the two I know for sure. Those are also not fucking threats at all in any way, shape, or form. They have no fucking shot. It's all about like selling another book or something for these guys. Other than that, I don't know, because this is just not a normal primary. A normal primary, everybody would throw their hat in the ring. Fucking
Romney? You think Romney will run?
I was literally just gonna say,
yeah,
because like Mitt Romney is a guy who would run every fucking time. So like, since he hates Trump, I could see him potentially throwing his hat in the ring. But a guy like Lindsey Graham, who you expect to like put his hat in there every single time, he's not gonna do it this time. I don't think. Ted Cruz, he won't. You know, things like that.
Jeb.
I think he's past. I think he realizes he's done, so probably not.
I really want Jeb to run so bad. I really do. But Nikki Haley. I've heard Nikki Haley saying that she's probably going to run. Did she leave on bad terms with Trump? I can't remember. I don't feel like she left on bad terms with Trump.
Not from my knowledge. But
yeah, I don't believe so. I don't believe so. But yeah, so that's kind of the gist of it right there. With the impeachment, I think it's a lot of window dressing, but I agree with Ryan. There's a lot more that they could be doing. You don't have to do. You can focus on multiple things at one time, and with all of the moving parts, like politics is just such a fascinating arena for me. Like I know it's a lot of bullshit, which most things are. Politics is probably the most bullshit. I mean, we've all watched House of Cards. I think House of Cards is such a fantastic kind of insight into how the political inner workings of politics goes. Obviously, it's a TV show, but I think it does give you a really kind of interesting insight into the manipulative nature of the political system and how it's all a big game. It's a big game of optics, of moving and shaking and positioning. And that's why Trump is so detrimental to what they have created, because he's just a bull in a china shop. He just comes in there and just wrecks every fucking thing. And but he does play the game. He plays it not very well in terms of the political standard. But I think he does play the political game when he needs to. I think that there's no way he could accomplish the things he accomplished without playing the game. Okay, there's just no way. The man knows what he's doing, but he's also he's the bull in the china shop. He creates havoc everywhere he goes just by his mere presence alone, which I think is fantastic. But we're going to read a few super chats and we're going to call it a day. We've got almost 1,200 people in here. Again, if you are tuning in, if you're tuning in, we are going to be doing this every week, rotating between Patriot Outpost and this channel. So I hope you guys are enjoying this. We're going to have guests on. So Suresh, I just heard from him. He had a meeting come up, so he could not make it. So he had a business meeting. So we'll probably try to get him on next week. And then we're going to have more guests as well popping up every single week, and it's going to be fantastic. But I do want to see, just in this chat, just to get a gauge. Krista, are you here? Can you put up a poll in the chat, DeSantis or Trump 2024? I just want to see what the chat says. Our chat. So if you could do that, Krista, that would be great.
CEF for 10. Policy should be 90% of Republicans talking points. Impeachment should be 10. Yeah, I kind of agree with that. I think that people want to know. It's not enough just to sit there and say everything's fucking bad. You got to say what you're going to do to fix it. And that's why I loved Trump's announcement speech so much, because it was not a fucking, oh, everything is just terrible and I was robbed in 2020. That's not what it was. It was, hey, this is how great things were when I was there. This is what's happened. This is what I want to do to get us even better than we were before. And I think that resonates really well with people personally.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see. Darian Murphy says Haley is on bad terms with Trump. She turned on him after 2020 and she tried to grovel back and meet with him to save face, and he refused. I don't remember that. I know that they didn't get along in the like in the primaries and everything. There were some issues there, I felt like, but then he brought her on. So but I hear you. I mean, it makes sense. That's why she's trying to run against him. So it's not going to work. Right now, the poll has 89% Trump to 11% DeSantis. Damn, that's a lot. Not surprising at all. And again, that to me is no disrespect to Ron DeSantis, because I love that dude, man. I'm a huge fan of Ron DeSantis. Ben 10 Theorist becomes a member. I'll move to USA if Trump wins. I still think DeSantis should have run. What are your problems with DeSantis running for president? None. I have no problem with DeSantis running for president. I think, like I've said, I think DeSantis is going to become one of the great politicians of our lifetime. It's just that it's Trump's time. That's my only issue, is that it's Trump's time to run in 2024. I have zero problems with DeSantis. And in a crazy scenario where DeSantis did get the nomination for whatever reason, if he actually, let's just hypothetically say DeSantis runs, okay, against Trump. And let's say DeSantis wins the nomination, which I think is impossible. But let's say that happens. I'm voting for DeSantis. I'm 100% behind DeSantis. I love DeSantis, okay? So there's no problem at all. For me, at all, none. And I think that represents the majority of people. I know there's the small, group of people that are having issues with Trump on one side, and there's the anti-DeSantis crowd, which is far smaller than the anti-Trump crowd, because Trump just has his haters on a different level. We have, all right, let me go back to the beginning here. I'm going to try to run through some of these. Probably won't be able to get to all of them. But I'm doing a Thursday stream. So on Thanksgiving, and I'm going to catch up on the little bit that we missed last night, and then any from here. So again, this weekly show is supposed to be an hour. We're just wanting to hit some topics, have a guest on, take a couple of your super chats, take a couple of your questions, just to kind of give you guys some dates, some weekly content. And then we're hopefully going to turn this into a daily show. Would you guys like to see this as a daily show? Would you like us to call it the Daily Show? Would that be a good name? That's never been used before. All right. Where are we at? Let me find it. All right. We got Albert, not a retro. There is no my truth, your truth, their truth, out truth. There is only the truth. Yes, that is exactly my problem with True Social. Because someone was saying, who was I listening to? They were talking about Trump, and they were like, well, Trump has been sending out his truth on True Social. I was like, oh my God, it's so bad. It's so
his
bad.
Truths. Yeah.
Robert
I don't
Wiles.
like the phrasing for that. Yeah.
Robert Wiles, I was wondering if you heard anything about the Walmart in Virginia. That is the one I go to. Haven't heard anything more about it. I haven't heard a lot about that. Obviously, it's very tragic, and that is just a terrifying scenario when someone just opens fire at Walmart. I've heard about the story, but I haven't heard any details of it. And as we know, the media will determine their narrative based off of what happens.
I heard that it was like a manager or something, like an employee of Walmart that just lost their shit and pulled his gun, and killed a couple people. It wasn't some like I'm coming in and I'm set out to kill as many people as I can today. That's not what it was.
Wow.
It sounds like the same kind of shit that happens like fucking 8 times in Chicago every weekend, just on the street. Like people just beef and people have a problem. People fucking lose their shit. That's what it sounds like to me. But you got retards that are going to try to make it into everything they can.
Yep. 100%.
Oh, here we go again. Shit like that. So
5 picoseconds says, keep Dan Vask banned. Never forget January 6th. Marksman of 117B. Harvesting is legal in California, so a Republican used it and won. That's how lazy most of our voters still are. We must remove or use the tools provided. I agree. Like that, the Republicans have to stop being caught up in the past and just roll with the changes and apply and play the same games that the Democrats are playing. That's what you got to do.
And when fucking a stroke victim, barely able to walk or speak, Fetterman wins in Pennsylvania. It's not, if nothing's going to fucking change, and guess what? It's fucking not in Pennsylvania. You can't just sit there and say, oh, well, I'm sure it was a completely, totally legitimate election. You have to actually analyze what we can do to fix that. Okay. In a variety of different ways. Just sitting there and saying that does absolutely fucking nothing and only guarantees that it will likely continue to get worse.
Yep. All right. So somebody said Elon just tweeted woke pants video. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm looking at his reply. He just responded to Tim Pool.
He also put out a poll. He put out a poll 19 minutes ago. Should Twitter offer a general amnesty to suspended accounts, provided they have not broken the law or engaged in egregious spam?
Whenever he puts a poll out, he usually listens to the results. So the fact is what? Let me vote. So yes is at 74.5. No is at 25.5. So, interesting. I mean, I think that there should be a path to redemption for anybody. You know what I mean? Within reason. I mean, I like the idea of the $8 and verified accounts. I like the fact that everybody's gonna be verified that wants to pay that money, and then the people aren't verified get ranked lower in the algorithm. I like that idea. I like that a lot. That's gonna destroy spam. It really will. You know what I mean? I like that idea a lot.
Can you say that again? The first part of it.
I like the idea of the $8, and everybody's gonna be verified that wants to pay the $8, because that turns into a real human being. Everybody that has a verified badge tip is going to be a real human being that had to provide their personal information and a credit card.
I like some aspects of that. I think that anonymity is important in some ways. I think that without anonymity, Obviously, it allows people to say things they would never fucking say, like in reality, like to someone's face. But it also does allow for those ideas that sometimes people are too scared of saying out there because they're in fear of getting canceled, in fear of like whatever. I do think anonymity is important in a way. And if you decide to, because there's people that aren't going to want to give their information out there because they're worried about people getting it from Twitter, whatever. Yeah. So if all those people suddenly are getting deboosted and not discoverable just because they don't want to pay and they don't want to reveal their identity, I just think there's more to it than simply this is good or this is bad. Like it's a really weird thing for me.
Well, I don't disagree with that, but what I'm looking at, and I agree with the anonymity, I think that's absolutely important on the internet. What I'm looking at is one side has utilized anonymity far better than the other. And you look at how Twitter has pushed things that are not real. And you see a lot of these bots that are pushing narratives that aren't actually real. And the other side just hasn't done a good job of that. And I feel like that's been an integral part of why the culture has been lost so much. And so the reality of it is for something to change, for the better, I see that being this $8 deal. And I believe he's looked at the analytics. He's looked under the hood. You know what I mean? He's absolutely looked under the hood to determine to get him to that place. So while I agree that anonymity is important and I support it 100%, you know, because Jordan B. Peterson keeps looking like a clown every time he talks about that. It doesn't take the ability away to have your anonymity. It just means that it's taking away the ability of all these bots to manipulate as much as they have been. That's the way I look at it. So there's no right. I don't think there's a right or wrong answer. There's taking the situation for what it is and hoping for the best that we can get out of it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I believe the more real people that have their voice on there, then the better it's going to be for the greater narrative and not all of the gender identity politics bullshit. So, but is there a better balance? Yes. I don't have the answer to that. I don't know what that looks like. I have no idea, but I'd be open to it. Bradman says, did Ryan remove the fake window? I got that one. Eric K. Turkey is on sale here for $2.99 pound before Brandon, 79 cents on sale. Yeah, I mean, turkey prices are up, what, like 27%, I think is what it was.
I saw 110%.
110%? Okay, yeah.
That's what I saw.
Now, so
about 20% overall for like a total Thanksgiving meal more than it was last year.
It's insane. Eric K says Fauci deserves the treatment he gave the puppies. Fauci's a horrible person. I hate him. Low Light River, you are not a C word. I got censored. You are not a C word. I got censored. I don't know what that means.
You're
what up, Low Light River?
You're not a cunt.
Well, no, but I'm saying he got censored, meaning the super chat. He got censored.
Chat.
My bad. Okay. Thomas Smith got that one. Echo Base Network. Have you guys seen Died Suddenly? It's a must-watch documentary on the COVID. I saw that video on Rumble. Have you watched it yet? Died Suddenly. Have you seen that documentary, Ryan? Have you heard about it?
Is it come out yet? I thought it's coming on Rumble soon. Okay.
It's on Rumble.
I haven't had a chance to watch it yet. I've been so freaking busy. I can't wait though. It looks really good.
Alex Slusher for $1. Thank you. Let's see. I don't know how to say this. So Cane Sword. Has the Colorado situation been discussed yet? Total backfire. It hasn't been discussed here. That's a very slippery slope on YouTube. May have to make that a Rumble exclusive. But no, we didn't get into that one yet.
In about like 30 minutes or so, I'll put one up on Patriot Outpost, just kind of making fun of the media after it was revealed that he's non-binary and the media was misgendering him during a broadcast and trying to say that maybe he's just pretending that he's non-binary, or maybe he doesn't actually feel this way about his pronouns. It's weird that it's okay for the left to do it now, huh?
Yeah, I mean, you know, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Dark Side Droids, Jeremy, you look much less Amish today. Happy Thanksgiving to both of you guys. God bless America.
Thank you, Dark Side Droids.
I appreciate that, Dark Side Droids. Ryan, I know you need to bounce, man, so I'll finish up a couple of these. So you go ahead and get out of here, and I'll finish up these. And again, Patriot Outpost. Go subscribe right now. You said he's going to upload a video in about 30 minutes. So we don't have a name of the show yet, Jose Cruz. So we're waiting for you guys to help us figure that out.
Yeah, we're trying to figure it out.
But yeah, Ryan. So tell them what you got going on.
Yeah, just come follow me, RK Outpost, and obviously Patriot Outpost for more political type of discussions. And we'll see you right here next week at noon on Patriot Outpost. See you guys.
Have a good one, man.
You too.
All right. So let me see. Where was I at? Pimp Daddy Propane. I tell you what, it doesn't matter until we as a people tell the politicians we are in charge, not them. Yup. Hey, I mean, that's why I'm an advocate Trump supporter, because Trump has been the guy that has really broken the entire system. He broke it so much. Look at the links that they've had to go to stop him. That's why I'm such a massive supporter of Trump, because he broke the system. He broke all of their minds, broke their brains, broke the media, broke Hollywood, broke big tech. He broke all of them, and they did everything in their power to get rid of him. And so he put the power of the people, he put the power back in the people's hands, in my opinion. Dermy Wormy, Republicans need to do both the investigations and the kitchen table issues. You need the corruption put out in public while trying to lower inflation. Republicans need to get out of their own way. The Republicans are the biggest problem. Republicans have always been the problem. Democrats are Democrats. Left-wingers are left-wingers. We know that. You're never going to change that. But the problem is the rhinos have always been such a big problem. They are detached from reality. They seem to think that they are better than they are, that they're more important than they are. And the reality of it is they're not. Their self-righteous ways have been such a drawback for the conservative movement. And I say that as someone that I don't consider myself anything. I'm not conservative. I'm not liberal. I'm not libertarian. I'm just me. I'm just a guy who looks at the situation for what it is and makes up my mind on what I think is best. I don't tie myself to any ideology. I don't tie myself to any type of party. I never thought that was a good idea growing up. Obviously, I definitely was more in a conservative kind of upbringing for sure. And but then I really hated George W. Bush. Like, I really despised that man. I despised George W. Bush and the entire Bush administration, from Dick Cheney and Condoleezza Rice and Donald Rumsfeld. I hated all of them. I passionately hated them. And so once Bush got his 8 years, then I was like all in on Obama's first term, 100%, because I wanted to move away from the Republican Party. I hated the Republican Party. I despised everything they stood for. And then Obama turned out to be a disaster as well. And politics has never been about policy anyway. If you go back to when Bill Clinton became president because he went on Arsenio Hall's talk show and played a saxophone with sunglasses. That's what elevated him. He was the cool factor. George W. Bush got elected because he was the type of guy you could have a beer with. Barack Obama got elected because he was a one-term senator. He was a one-term senator and a community organizer. Why did he get elected? Because he was this eloquent speaker, and the media loved him and his name. And so they built him up. And so eventually we ended up with Trump, a former reality TV show businessman who's been in the public eye for 30, 40 years. And he came in and he broke the mold. That's essentially what happened. And so, yeah. And he broke a lot of people, and we've talked about that a lot. So it's been really funny to watch it all play out. Dermy Wormy says the top of the Republican Party are just Dems. They don't like their constituents, and they hate MAGA anything. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Gaffed Tanker 98. If Trump gets back in, he needs to be way more selective on who he lets in the White House and how he lets many betrayers near him last time. Yeah, I agree with that. I agree. Henry back to play. No, really, I'm not trolling. Sincerely, I dig this new live stream talking politics. Much support. Cheers, dudes. Thank you, Henry. Appreciate that. Senor Spielbergo, Agreed. Republicans must use those tools in leftist states until they are in power, then remove those tools afterwards. 100% agree. I am Warwolf. Vice made a hit piece saying manga is CP. It doesn't surprise me at all. Bubba Doom, YouTube won't let me say what I think of Romney. Not surprising. Garfield's Bizarre Adventure. Trump needs to stop taking shots at DeSantis, especially when Ron hasn't even declared himself as a candidate. Focus on economy and inflation. I agree. Trump taking the shots at DeSantis they help no one. They help no one and they help nothing. It just doesn't help. So I agree completely. Let me see. Let's see. Let me refresh. Give me a minute. Yeah, I was really disappointed when Trump said that 3 days before the primaries. 3 days before the primaries, Trump. Like, come on, bro. Matt HTX43. I liked Trump's policies, but he was his own worst enemy at times. He was for common sense gun reform as well as other Republicans, including DeSantis. Trump was also for Operation Warp Speed. Yeah, Trump is definitely not a perfect. He wasn't perfect at all, but absolutely the best I've ever seen, and it's not even close. So let me see. Best president of my lifetime, not even close. Doesn't mean he's perfect. Definitely some things to criticize about him, and I fully understand that for sure. Marksman, you see the new Fur Apocalypse by Flash Gets? I have not. Iger, let's see. Fedigator says Iger will use his return to Disney to go toe-to-toe with DeSantis as he prepares for a presidential run in 2024. Ron DeSantis will destroy Bob Iger. So I hope with every bone in my body, that Iger tries to go toe-to-toe with Ron DeSantis. And I think he probably will. Because again, I think that Iger's the big picture for Iger is to run for president. I do believe that Iger has that in his long-term plans. So please go toe-to-toe with DeSantis. He will destroy you. Big Rod says, need a show name? How about I got news for you? Not quite. And I don't think we'll do that one. That is good, though. That is very good, Big Raj. That is very good. Let me check Streamlabs really quickly. See where we're at on that. Let's see. WG, keep up the great work and happy Thanksgiving. Thank you, WG. Appreciate that, man. I really do. And Shadow Warchild. Is this a brand account? Maybe why gift subs or memberships are off. Gift memberships are on this channel. You can gift memberships on this channel. You can't do it on the main Geeks and Gamers channel. So I'll have to look into that as to why, but there should be no reason why. There should be none at all as to why the Geeks and Gamers channel doesn't have that. Bebop 1988, name the show. We got news for you. You guys like that one, don't you? We got news for you. But yes, this channel, yeah, WG. Thank you, WG. Yes, you can give memberships on this channel. It's the main Geeks and Gamers channel that you can't. Thank you, WG. I appreciate you, buddy. 5 gifted memberships to the D-Day Cobra channel. I appreciate you. That is so awesome. And so what did you guys think of our political show? We'll probably have it a little better structured as we kind of get further into it. Again, we planned on having Suresh on today, but we had scheduling differences because he had a meeting. So we'll try to get him on next week. And yes, everyone thank WG for the gifted memberships. Gung Ho Max says Geeks and Gamers channel is too precious to be gifted. Apparently so. Quiet Robot says fantastic. Ben Theorist has gifted a D-Day Cobra membership. Thank you, Ben 10 Theorist. Appreciate you. Matthew says Elon tweeting crazy 8 now. All right, let me see what Elon's tweeting now. more and more over time, as we grew closer to the truth, Twitter will earn the trust of the people. That's what Elon has tweeted. And he tweeted out the amnesty poll, and he responded to Tim Pool. So pretty good stuff right now with Elon and Twitter, man. It's an exciting time. The pendulum feels like it is slowly starting to swing. Time will tell. But let's see. Epo says, what about midday melty report? Midday melty report. That's not too bad. That's not too bad. We're waiting. You guys keep rolling those suggestions. Obviously, me and Ryan have to agree on whatever it is. So Sean says, great show. This is the most political show I watch these days. Can only stand so much of it. I totally understand. But thank you guys for being here. Really do appreciate it. We will have an announcement on Tuesday night's main event for a daily show on Geeks and Gamers. So Tuesday night's main event, we will make that announcement and we'll give you the date and the time of when that starts. So really looking forward to that. So we're trying to get some more structure to everything we have going on here, whether it's upload schedules, whether it's live stream schedules, everything like that. Structure is important. It's important for you. It's important for us. It's important for the algorithm. So that's going to be very beneficial, I believe, for Geeks and Gamers. Bradman, I worked for 3 political parties, have a degree in political science, and served in 5 years. It's nice to have a channel where it's not a Republican yelling that I'm going to die or a Democrat yelling I'm a Yahtzee. Well, I appreciate that. And yes, and I think that's a good kind of point to make. Obviously, people know I am a strong Trump supporter. I'm also a DeSantis guy. I live in the state of Florida. I don't think that you have to agree with my politics for us to get along. I don't think that you have to think exactly like me for us to get along. I don't think that you have to think every single thing that I think to watch this channel or watch anything that I do. I 100% respect if you have a difference of opinion. If you're not a Trump guy, if you're not a DeSantis guy, for whatever reason, I 100% appreciate and respect that, as long as you're coming at me with respect. It's when people start yelling all of the nonsense and screaming and trying to demonize people for having those opinions. That's where my problems start to really show, and I get aggravated with it. But have your opinions, have whatever takes you want. Understand that everybody's not going to agree with you, and you should get along fine with most logical thinking people. And that's my take on it right there. So thank you guys. I appreciate it. Thank you to the mods. Thank you to Chris and Nova for being backstage, taking care of everything on that end. Thank you to Ryan. Subscribe to Patriot Outpost because we will be live over there next week. And Will Fuller, invite Mark Dice or Salty to join in on a future live stream. Yeah, I mean, obviously we're close with Salty. I'm sure we can get Salty on. I've never spoken with Mark Dice, although I really like Mark Dice a lot. I love his channel, respect him. So we definitely could probably make that happen as well. Steph is dropping the link to Patriot Outpost. So you guys make sure you go and subscribe to Patriot Outpost. Really do appreciate it. I hope everyone has a great Thanksgiving with your family. Have a great holiday. Be safe out there. Eat a lot of food. I'll probably be live on this channel at some point tomorrow. I don't have a set time yet, but I do need to catch up on some super chats from Tuesday night's main event. And just wanted to give you guys, some content on on Thursday. So we'll see how it goes. We will be live tonight on Geeks and Gamers playing Warzone. So if you guys want to check that out, you can. Let's see. Johnny the Whiskey, my birthday is tomorrow. I hope you have a great Thanksgiving. And if possible, I hope you get to play Mario Kart with us again on Monday. Thanks, Johnny, and happy birthday, buddy. Hope you have a great birthday. Eat a lot of food and eat a lot of turkey. Eat a lot of macaroni and cheese. You got to have rolls. You got to have ham. So those are some of the key elements right there. Bestie Man 420 for $1.99. Thank you. I appreciate it. All right, guys, give this stream a like. We're almost up to 1,000 likes. I'm going to leave the stream public. So make sure that you like the video, comment afterwards. I really do appreciate it. Have a great day. And have a great holiday with you and your family. I will leave you with the way we started, with the great Donald Trump.
Okay.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it. And I agree with you on NATO. I agree with you on other countries. I don't want to single out Japan. I don't want to single out Saudi Arabia, but these are countries that people understand the kind of wealth we're talking about, and I will single them out. But there are many other countries and taking tremendous advantage of this, including NATO. If you look at the payments that we're making to NATO, they're totally disproportionate with everybody else's, and it's ridiculous. As far as other causes that are near and dear, this is the cause, because if we can solve this, then we're able to take care of something that I consider to be ultimately of ultimate importance, and that is the homeless situation, that is the farmers, that is the sick. We don't have any money. This country is busted. And it's busted because we're doing things that we shouldn't be doing. If we had business ability in this country, we'd be making lots of profit, so-called surplus profit. And that profit, that money, could be going to defend and I literally mean defend our homeless and our poor and our sick and our farmers. And that's where we ought to be spending the money, not giving it to countries that don't give a damn for us to start off with.